Hi everyone, and welcome back to the YouTube channel. If you're a regular viewer here, you saw that last week I had to do some repair on the element receptacle on this back burner on the stove. Well, to get that going, a second part of it, I had realized that when my stove was built, it is a Kenmore stove, which is made by Whirlpool, that at the factory, this whole side of the burner, front and back, large and small, had the same wattage of control behind the knob, when the smaller one is supposed to have less wattage. I found this out because to have this one going, I stole the control element from my back burner because it's the least used, and got this one going temporarily. But because it's a lower wattage, on high, this one's running at about medium. Boiling water, like making hot cocoa for the kids, is real slow and takes some time. Now, I've had the part on hand for a couple days, and I was making myself a cocoa, and I thought, this is ridiculous. This burner should have been hot already. Oh, that's another thing I have to do. But I've been busy in the kitchen doing processing of animals. I did turkey yesterday. The 3 days before that, I butchered a big bull and got it in our freezer, and it's gone on long enough. This has been 5 or 6 days. And one of the things that had happened with my stove is the ends of these elements, one side was black. So I had swapped that out. It was kind of intermittent. It was fitting loosely. Well, that's what caused my problem in the first place, is that this was loose and I kind of shoved it in while I was using it, but I had something metal in my hand. I was doing it with a spatula, and it must be that it was loose enough in the connection with the metal spatula that it zapped and shorted. And when that happened, it shorted out the control knob in the back. So if this happens to you and you have a burner that's not working, the first thing you can do is test one of your other elements. Now, generally, a stovetop has 2 big and 2 small. At one of our rental units, the entire stovetop is 1 large burner and 3 small burners. So you don't always have that on hand to test. You know, knock on your neighbor's door and say, hey, I'm trying to test this out. Could I borrow one of your elements? We were real lucky because we've had rental units in the past. We had extra burners on hand. These elements for a large element runs about $35 to $40. Cheaper on Amazon. Certain places you can get them for less money. Generally, drip pan covers are easy to get just walking into a store like Walmart or Target. But then these electrical elements, you're going to have to go to a big box store. Lowe's, Home Depot, Menards. Shop on Amazon, get them delivered to you, depending on your urgency of getting it installed. So, like I said, that may not be your problem. It could be the receptacle, which was in the last video. This burner is up and running. We know that everything is good. It is our controller knob, because I had stole it from the other side, that is our issue. So this one is the lower wattage. It has to go back over here to my small burner, and I'm going to show you how to do that, how to switch it out. So my new part came right to the door. I ordered it off of eBay. You can find out your part number right on the unit in the back, and I don't have it opened yet. You can punch in your part number at like SearsPartsDirect.com or PartsSelect.com. Punch in your model number and find your part number for what you need. So the part number is right on your original part. And like I said, that, you know, the different wattages were throwing me off. So I believe I have the correct element here. Either way, it's going to run. It's real easy to do. You just want to make sure that you are unplugged to begin with. So we're going to slide this oven out and get it unplugged. There is a control panel on the back. Mine is already off because I did this project the other day. And they use these small screws. Now, generally a 6mm socket head will take those off. If you have a screwdriver, that the head removes so that you can switch it from Phillips to a straight head. You take that out and it's going to give you your nut driver section. Now I have a nut driver that also has removable sockets on the end. So that's how I knew. So we're just gonna go ahead and pop this in. For our reassembly, since I don't have to take it out, like I said, we're gonna pull the stove out and get it unplugged before we start. Okay, let's show you step by step how to do this. So you can see the oven is completely unplugged. And keep in mind, this is an electric stove. If you have Kenmore, Whirlpool, Maytag, Frigidaire, in general, your design is going to be the same. Most of the appliances are made with FSP, factory certified parts. This one says Electrolux. You can see, you know, they've got Frigidaire on it, Tappan, White Westinghouse, Kelvinator, Gibson, and, you know, it's all pretty well interchangeable. 316436000. It says small burner element. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to switch my large element back to where it's supposed to go and get us up and running. This is the back of the stove opened up. As I said before, I already took my service panel off. It was here on the upper back part of the stove. Go ahead and set that aside. On the back of your stove, you should have a service data sheet in a little plastic holder on the back of this. It's not a big deal if you don't. It is not chocked full of a lot of information as far as part numbers. It does have some useful information on calibrating your oven if your internal oven baking element doesn't seem to be quite right. Good thing to have. We've replaced that on this stove in the past. So good information, always available online. And these are very homeowner friendly for working on. So you can see the knob here. We just went ahead and pulled that off. These two screws are holding the control unit in place on the back. So we're just going to go ahead, Phillips screwdriver, go ahead and take those right out. They're real short screws. And just a quick word of caution, this burner has a vent that goes to the inside of the stove. If you lose that in there, it's going to be hard to get. So I'm going to go ahead and cover that up just so that I don't lose it down inside. Now we can just go here to the back and you can see we've got these wires and harnesses hooking everything together. Just remove that right from there. I'm going to need two hands, but this just pulls off in two different sections. First your yellow wiring block, and then your purple, red, and black. Okay, so here is our new part, and I'm going to just go ahead and put this on. It's easier for me to put this on to be able to manipulate this and then fasten it into the stove. You can do it whichever way works best for you. There's these little tabs that have to go into the grooves here on the side, and that's why it's easier for me to do it this way, because then I can line it up and manipulate it, because you don't want to snap those off. So if you just heard, that was a little click. Now we're just going to put this here, hold it in place, and at the same time, and this is why I wanted to cover up that back burner so that I don't lose my screws into the vent. It is a screened vent, but not all are. And these are real short little buggers of screws. That in. You don't want to over tighten it, just because there's a lot of plastic in these elements, but you are screwing metal to metal, and you just don't want to strip it. Okay, we're nice and snugged up there. A quick note about this also, if you're working on somebody else's stove, you don't want to set your tools on top of their appliance because, incidentally, little nicks can happen and you don't want to be the responsible person for having to run back out and get some touch-up paint and then their item is never quite the same. I just snapped that back on and the front is all reassembled. Let's switch to the back. That's the thing that I really like about electric appliances. They are very easy for your average homeowner to do a repair on. I don't think any husband wishes for another thing being added to a list that he has to do on his Saturday. And these little how-to videos and fix-it repair videos can help any average person fix something and save you a lot of money so that you don't have to wait for an afternoon to take off of work, use a sick day or a personal day, waiting for a repair guy who's going to come sometime in a 4-hour window. And then you get a call and say they're not coming at all because they got held up at the last stop, which has happened. We've been there. We always bought the extended warranty. And I'll tell you that extended warranty can cost several hundred extra dollars that you might not have. And this might be a little more doable for most people than spending that. Now, because of my history in doing appliance repair in our rental units, I learned how to do a lot of this stuff on our own because it was a money-saving thing for us. Keep in mind, not all stoves have this type of access panel. It might be a full access panel. And on some stoves, this front part might be a separate hinged unit that you have to take screws out from the front. And in that case, it would be set up like a dryer where you would find a couple of screws here on the front to remove and to hinge it back to be able to access these control knobs. So let's go ahead, plug this in and slide it back into place. Go ahead and take this opportunity to set your clock or to cancel it out. I like to cancel it out quite often because then it's not taking the power to be lit up all the time. Got that on. It's showing that our element is on and we have heat. That is great. We are back in business. As always, everybody, thanks for watching. Remember to give us a thumbs up, to like it, and subscribe for more videos in the future. Hit that appliance playlist. We've got everything here for home repair, for fixing your appliances, washer, dryer, dishwasher, you name it. We've probably done it. We'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye.